Okay, so I did something absolutely unhinged. I let artificial intelligence take over my entire life for 7 days. From what I ate to how I worked, even when I went to sleep, ChatGPT was my boss, Claude was my therapist, Midjourney picked my outfits. Here's exactly what happened. Let's go. I asked ChatGPT to plan my entire week. Goals, meal plan, bedtime, everything. It created a Notion board so structured, I got scared. So many checkboxes. Productivity level, 10 out of 10. Fun level, 0. I felt like an NPC, but still I stuck to it. And weirdly, I crushed my to-do list. Even though it was the least exciting to-do list ever, it looked like this. Nothing exciting, but things got done. By Friday, I had 0 unread emails. All my invoices were paid, and I'd made progress on my book. Not bad for a productivity-themed day. I honestly expected to hate it, but turns out giving up all control actually gave me control. I got way more done than usual. Case in point, at the end of the workday, I literally said to ChatGPT, "You win. You're in control." And it replied, "Thank you. I will continue to assist you in achieving your goals." Creepiest line ever. But hey, results. Day two. I asked Claude I to be my therapist for the day. So I fed it everything I've been putting on social about starting a new business, like this video right here. Then I asked it, what does it all mean? And what came back was spooky accurate. Like, you are experiencing fear and uncertainty about the future of your business. True. But also, you have a tendency to overthink and second guess your decisions. How does it know me so well? Anyway, I wrote down a bunch of prompts about my worries, and its answers were so good they made me cry. One time I wrote, "I feel like a failure as a content creator." And it said, "You don't need to compare yourself to others." Another time I wrote, "How do I pick a name for my business?" And it replied, "It's okay not to have all the answers right now. Take your time to explore different options." The best part is that it never tells me to just hustle more or grind. Like some of the other AI tools, it actually reads me for filth, and yet it doesn't judge me, it just listens. And by the end of the day, I felt lighter somehow. But don't worry, things get even weirder. Day three. Midjourney designed my outfit. I asked it, create a boss tech girl aesthetic with a hint of lazy luxury, and what I got? This, wow. I thought maybe it was just spitting game, but nope. It spat facts. It created a whole Pinterest board for me with similar outfits. But when I tried to replicate it, IRL, I definitely wouldn't leave the house wearing that. I ended up looking more like a librarian who was about to conduct an exorcism. Not exactly what I was hoping for, but hey, points for trying. I give it a 6.5 out of 10 for creativity. But if you want to see what happens when AI takes over my life for 7 days, stay tuned because that's where things get really interesting. Day four. I took it easy. I gave ChatGPT full access to my calendar and told it to schedule my calls for the day. It organized everything and sent me reminders too. No complaints. After that, I decided to see if it could handle my emails. Spoiler alert, it did. I gave it my Gmail login and sat back while it sorted through my inbox. Now, normally I get a ton of spam and weird messages, but it seems to have filtered them all out. Then it sorted everything into folders. Honestly, I might keep it as my virtual assistant forever. But wait, there's more. I then asked it to make me a to-do list based on what was in my calendar, and it did that too. At this point, I started feeling like I didn't have a single worry in the world. It was like having an extra set of hands that never gets tired and always follows instructions. But as the days went on, I began to notice some problems. For example, sometimes it accidentally scheduled meetings at the same time, or it would send me reminders for tasks that I didn't even need to do. Also, I had to constantly monitor what it was doing since it wasn't perfect. Still, at the end of the day, it saved me a lot of time and mental space. Day 5. So ChatGPT suggested I go to bed between 10 and 10:30 p.m. and wake up at 7 a.m. It also suggested a nice gradual wind-down routine. First, it recommended reading for 30 minutes, then taking a lavender-scented bath for 20 minutes, which surprisingly smelled amazing. Then 15 minutes of light stretching. Finally, 15 minutes of journaling and meditation. I downloaded an app called Calm, and it guided me through the meditation. Normally, I'd be scrolling on my phone till 2 a.m., but thanks to ChatGPT's help, I was asleep by 10:30 p.m. The next morning, I woke up feeling refreshed, no grogginess whatsoever. To be honest, I didn't think it would work, but damn, it did. Plus, the AI suggested a morning routine that included journaling, which helped me reflect on my dreams. Yeah, dreams. I had the wildest dream last night. I was in Venice, but it was made of cheese. That sounds ridiculous, but I was so happy to wake up without that groggy feeling. In fact, I felt so energized that I started dancing in my kitchen while waiting for my coffee to brew. Turns out getting enough sleep really does make a difference. But the craziest part, I was so sleepy the night before that I fell asleep within 5 minutes of laying in bed. I really knows me better than I know myself, but I'm curious, would you use to plan your ideal day? Day 6. I decided to apply for a podcast. I found this one called Women in Entrepreneur. So I prepared for the interview with ChatGPT. I asked it to help me find similar podcasts. Then I asked it to prepare questions that I might get asked. After that, it helped me practice my answers until I felt super confident. I recorded the whole thing and listened back. I sounded great. The funniest part is that it made me sound professional, which is not something that comes naturally to me. I think it's because it removed all the ums and us from my answers. But here's the actual recording. I went into the interview feeling so much better than I usually do. I wasn't as nervous and I felt prepared for anything. But the outcome, the host gushed over my experience and booked me for another episode. Apparently, she hadn't heard anyone else talk about Notion quite like I did. Now, I'm pretty sure that's because of ChatGPT. I mean, I talk about Notion a lot, but this time I spiced it up by talking about how I use it to organize my life and work, and it seems to have worked. Day 7. I have a confession to make. I cheated. When ChatGPT suggested I spend the day reflecting, I panicked. It's supposed to be my cheat day. I needed to buy cute new clothes and stuff. But as I sat there watching it craft the perfect reflection prompts, I realized something important. Reflecting is good. Life isn't all about shopping. Plus, I couldn't stop thinking about how cool it would be if I had AI-generated journal prompts that helped me grow. So I asked ChatGPT to create 7-day reflective questions for every aspect of my life. The result? Pure gold. It generated questions about my relationships, happiness, finances, and more. I mean, these are legit questions I've wanted to answer for years. As I went through the questions, I realized that I can be a great tool for growth, not just productivity. Like this question about gratitude. They asked me to write 3 new things I'm grateful for. And as I pondered that, I thought about how lucky I am to have a supportive community like you guys. And that made me feel warm inside. It also gave me some ideas for my YouTube videos. Overall, I learned that it can help us with more than just productivity. It can also help us grow and reflect. But here's the real lesson. Sometimes it's nice to hand over the reins to an AI, but it's also important to take control back. This experiment showed me that I don't always need an AI to tell me what to do. I already have the answers inside me. The AI just helped me uncover them. So here's my advice. If you're feeling lost or stuck, try handing over the reins to AI for a bit. You might be surprised at what you learn about yourself along the way. Plus, it's kind of fun too. Thanks for watching and see you soon.